Welcome to the Celtic Camino. We are making the way from Ferrol to Santiago, and the Celtic Camino traditionally made by the pilgrims of Ireland and Northern Europe, so England, Scotland, some Scandinavian countries, and they would land in the ports of A Coruña and Ferrol and make their way to the pilgrimage site of Santiago, where the relics of the apostle Saint James were discovered, and people for nearly 1,000 years now have made the pilgrimage. So we're making our way. We have just left Ferrol, the naval town, and we're now alongside these train tracks out into the Spanish countryside, and we're making our way up an estuary And the estuary is where Ferrol is built, on the north side of the estuary. And Ferrol's a big naval base, Spanish naval base, on the Atlantic. And it's been there for stretching right back to 15, 16, 1700s. It was built up, designated by the Spanish government, Spanish kings way back. And on the south of the estuary there's another shipbuilding site, and it's all shipbuilding, oil tankers. And I went to the there's a naval museum in Ferrol yesterday. Only cost me €2 to get in. She said €2, and I was thinking if this had been back home, it would have been, you know, €7 or €10, you know. But she said like, no, €2, and it had loads of stuff in it. And I went back through the history of naval shipbuilding in this area. So we're making our way up the estuary and then round to Neda, and that's our first stop for today. So it's 9-10 miles we're gonna make today on our way to Santiago. So the whole trip is on a path, and you can see nice paths and nice there's nice signs as well. So I have a map and an app to keep me right, but the signs so far out of Ferrol have been fantastic. But as things get less built up, that might change. So it's about 70 miles, 113 kilometers, and the end point Santiago, the cathedral, and that's where the relics of St. James are. And we're just in the countryside, in the towns and the villages, and we're making good progress. We're about 4 or 5 mile in, so another 4 to 5 mile to Neda. You go round the estuary, and then we head south. So that's the plan, the Celtic Camino. Let's see what you have to offer. Pilgrims from all over Ireland made this journey for centuries, and the trail, it was forgotten about, but it's made a bit of a revival in this century. And yeah, let's keep it going. We're on this nice track just beside the motorway. That's the motorway there, and it's kind of nice path alongside it. It's a bit rocky, so footwear is the big debate on this trail. You know, do you go for trainers? Do you go for hiking boots? Do you go for trail runners? That type of thing. So I kind of just settled for my Innovate 8s, and they're kind of halfway between a hiking boot and a trail shoe. They've got the ankle support just for uneven ground, so they're quite light. And you can see this trail goes all the way right down there, and it's quite quiet. There's a couple of people ahead of me, a couple of people behind me. Further back, there's whenever we started in Ferrol, there was a lot of people at the tourist office who started off at the same time, so it was kind of like almost a group. People were picking up their pilgrim passports, where you get it stamped as you go along. That's what evidences that you've put in at least 100 kilometers to Santiago. So you want to pick up your pilgrim passport, you can get that at the tourist office. I got mine in Ireland, so the Camino Society of Ireland. I contacted them, I think it was end of last year when I was putting this plan together. So I have an Irish pilgrim passport, and it's stamped by the first stamps the Pilgrim Society of Ireland. And right today I've picked up 3 or 4 more stamps. So you have to get 2 stamps a day just to evidence that you're putting in the work. So yeah, very quiet. This Camino is one of the more quieter ones. The French Camino is the popular one. It's very commercialized, the last 100 kilometers, because it's the most popular one. This one's a bit more off the beaten track, less people doing it, and I chose this one because it's where the Irish pilgrims would have landed in Spain and walked to Santiago this way. So I chose this one for a wee bit of history, and you can complete it all in one go as well. So the French Camino, the entirety of it is probably 25-30 days worth of hiking. So time and vacation constraints meant this one worked out perfectly. It's got the history, it's got the sentimental value to it, and so far so good. Slow and steady. There's no races, no prizes for getting there any quicker, so that's the plan. So let's keep it going. Celtic Camino, fantastic so far, and we're coming around the bend of the estuary to Neda, and should be there another couple of hours, so let's keep it going. We've made it to the other side of the estuary, and you can see it's all tidal, the tide's out. So there's just like a small stream, and there's lots of bridges over the estuary, but you have to go all the way right to the back. There's this newer bridge here, but that wasn't there 1,000 years ago. So I couldn't cross that one. It has to be the original one. So the original stone one, which is way back past that one, to where the estuary just becomes a small stream, small river. And there's a bridge. That's an old stone one, and that's the original one that would have been there. Probably maybe an old Roman bridge back in the day, but they would only be able to build the bridge at the narrowest point. All of these new modern bridges, I'm not gonna say it's cheating, but it's cheating. You can't come and do the Camino and go over one of these bridges. It's just not right. Considering this is a pilgrimage, there could be spiritual consequences for cheating. So yes, so I wanted to go over the proper one, and it's starting to get really warm, so I've applied a fresh coat of sun cream. We've got the sun hat on, a bit of lip, factor 50 as well. Everything's factor 50. The Celtic pilgrims, I don't know how they would have coped in the heat or the sun, but I suppose back then you would maybe had coverings or shawls or cloaks, possibly, keep all the sun out, but it would have been really warm, wouldn't it? So yeah, anybody doing this 1,000 years ago, fair play. But yeah, sunburn on day one's not the plan. We're planning on not being sore in the morning with sunburn. So we're on our way down the estuary again on the far side to Neda, and that's day one. We're going to stay the night in Neda, and that's the first 10 miles, 9-10 miles out, and it's been a great first day. And we've got a map, so we'll check the map when we get to accommodation and retrace the steps. But yeah, it's been a peaceful walk. Warm, gotta take the liquids, electrolytes, all the rest of it. Just take precautions in the sun. but it's been very pleasant, very peaceful. I started in the morning time, so by the time I got to the next stop, it would only start to get warm at this stage, but we're only probably less than an hour away. So, making good progress. Let's bring it home to Neda. Let's keep it going. So time for the map after day one. We started in Ferrol, and as you can see, Ferrol, there's an estuary all the way into Ferrol, and big naval base, shipbuilding, lots of industry, and in the south there's also another shipbuilding, factories, so very, very industrial, but it leads out into the Atlantic Ocean, so that's why it's perfect. And the Northern European pilgrims from Ireland, England, Scotland, Scandinavia, they travel to Acruna or Ferrol ports. So these were the two main ports on the north coast of Spain. And the pilgrims who arrived at Ferrol, the first stage was travelling all the way around the estuary to Neda. So that was where I am now. I'm just slightly past Neda. So we started off in Ferrol. The trail fairly through the city centre, all the wee streets, and then you get out into the coast. And when you get out onto the coast, that's where the naval base is. So you do pass a lot of entrances to military establishments, and then as you venture further up the estuary, there's lots of nice walks. The paths are very nice, well maintained, and eventually as you get up the estuary, you reach a bridge, a stone bridge, which is the old traditional one. There's all these other bridges if you want to cut corners, but the one that is the traditional one is whenever the estuary turns into a river, small stream, and then you follow the estuary south again down to Neda, and then I'm just past this bridge, this flyover here south of Neda. So doesn't look much on the map, but that is 11 miles. So starting way out here on the tip where the tourist information, which is the start of the trail, the Camino all the way up the estuary and down south of Neda is 11 miles. So big first day, get the legs stretched out, and the second day is no better. Neda to Pontedeume, and that's the distance for tomorrow. So it's another 10 miles. So we're going to go from Neda down to Fene, and then Cabanas, which is on the north side of this estuary here. And then you cross a bridge to Pontedeume. So Neda, Fene, Cabanas, Pontedeume, and that's another 10 miles for day 2. So we're racking the miles up, and it's still a long way to Santiago. Santiago is not even on the map as of yet. But yeah, day by day, put in the miles, but that's the plan for day 2. We're currently just south of Neda, 11 miles around the coast, around the estuary. So that's the end of day 1. So on our way to Pontedeume from Neda. Apologies about the pronunciation. Possibly pronounced slightly differently in the Spanish tone. And we've just crossed the, or undercrossed I should say, the motorway, the highway, and we're going to cross, loop underneath it twice, I think it is, twice. Those are good markers for distance, so we're going to go under that twice, and the track is very well laid out. It was on road from, or we back roads from Neda. Now we're on this nice trail, and it's about 9 miles from Neda to Pontedeume, and there's a nice bridge into Pontedeume. So once we hit the bridge over like an estuary, then we'll be there. And there's some lovely horses in the fields here. And the plan is you want to be getting up fairly early, and the trail, there's another waymark, and it outlines the distance. Yeah, you want to get up nice and early and beat the heat. I got a little bit of sunburn yesterday, just in the corner of my neck, and yeah, even though it's like cloudy, I've decided to put my hat on from straight away, just to block out the sun. So I had the hat on about 11 yesterday, so today it's on at 9 AM straight away. And you just want to take cautions, but there's lots of water fonts on the way, which is great, so you have to worry about water. And that's the challenge, is the consecutive days along your feet. So 9-10 miles yesterday, 9 miles today, so that's 18-19, got to 20 miles in 2 days to start us off. and then there's 50 miles after that. But you just have to break it down in your mind, and one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time, just gradual, and the miles will build up. But things like sunburn will carry over to the next day, aches, blisters, things like that. So you want to be switched on to resting at the end of the day. Get yourself together, make sure you've got first aid kit to treat anything, and yeah, that's the challenge. But that will accumulate as the days go on. So Neda to Pontedeume, 9 miles, and we passed Fene, which was way back in that direction. And Fene is the southern estuary shipbuilding facility, exactly like Harland and Wolff, the yellow one in Belfast. Shipbuilding must have a crane builder who designs them exactly the same. So the crane of Belfast, crane of Fene, fantastic. So there we go, comparisons to the Celtic Camino. So right, onwards to Pontedeume. Let's keep it going. Making good progress. We are in the countryside of Galicia, and lots of farmers, and everybody's very friendly, and people saying hello, and lots of crops growing. There was a corn field back there, and there was a guy cutting, they're like cabbages, but a big field worth of produce, and a local football pitch as well. So this is where this is where the young Spanish players who go on to do big things. All these wee villages and towns all have football pitches, so it's the place where the superstars are made, in the countryside. And we're a couple of miles from Cabanas, and Cabanas is on the north side of the estuary. Then there's a bridge stretches over the estuary to Pontedeume. The pronunciation might be slightly off, but yeah, it's a nice walk. Yesterday was coming out of Ferrol, lots of roads and industrial estates, and coming out of a built up area. This is more in the countryside, so more country lanes, and you can hear the road. It's running alongside. There is a big motorway and road, but it's kind of off to the side. So very peaceful. A few odd people. So there's definitely no crowds on this Camino. The Celtic Camino, Camino Ingles, called also. So yeah, it's very quiet, peaceful. You also need to have a bit of a navigation because there's nobody really to follow. There's lots of signs, but you need to keep your eyes peeled for the arrows. So have an app just to keep you right. But the app, the Celtic Camino Ingles app is fantastic. It keeps you right. And signal. My phone has had a signal for 2 days now, so yeah, if you've got roaming activated on your phone, no problem with signal. So it's not a complete signal free zone, but the app, the Camino Ingles app, and other apps like All Trails all have offline maps, so download those beforehand, so if we do dip outside a signal, we can still access it and see where we're at offline. So yeah, so we're going well. Day 2, we're over halfway, and Cabanas, and then we make the crossing over the estuary into Pontedeume. And at that point we should be level, if not further south than Ferrol. So we started Ferrol and went round, and then we should drop below Ferrol almost, and then we make the journey south all the way to Santiago over the next few days. So yeah, I'd say a nice quiet country lane. Nobody here. Nobody here. Just me. And there's the odd passerby, so there's people speeding ahead, there's people I come up to and pass, and people are having water breaks, and it's just relaxed. Everybody's going at their own pace. As they say, your Camino is yours, it's nobody else's, so you do you, and there's no prizes. It's whatever you want it to be, and let's keep it going. Time for an update on the map. We left Neda today and travelled all the way down to Pontedeume and from Ferrol all the way around the estuary down to Pontedeume is about 18-19 miles, something like that. So pretty much dropping south below Ferrol, and we passed the town village of Fene, and Fene is pretty an industrial place on the right hand side of the estuary, more shipbuilding. So shipbuilding here, and we passed through the town of Fene, and this motorway that comes south pretty much crisscrossed back and forward underneath it, and then we crossed the bridge into Pontedeume across the estuary. So the next stage is to continue south from Pontedeume
down to Betanzos, and the town or village, I should say, of Mino is just here on the coast. So Pontedeume through Mino, can't actually see it on the map, but it's on a wee village on the coast, on the way to Betanzos, and that's a 13-14 miles stretch. So it's about 6.5-7 miles to the village of Mino, which is somewhere here, and then another 6.5-7 miles down to Betanzos. So a good 13-14 stretch of mile right there. So making good progress. Santiago is all the way right down on the map here. So we're making good progress so far. Definitely left the estuary behind. We're into the open countryside, making our way south. So that's what we have to look forward to for tomorrow, making our way towards Betanzos.
way to Mino. We're making good progress from Pontedeume. It's about 6.5 miles, but we've gone away from a lot of the busy roads and got these nice trails, nice forest tracks, sort of weaving underneath the roads, sort of country lanes. Not too much traffic, the odd car, but nothing too major. The small villages all have footpaths and sort of tracks off the road. Pontedeume though is very steep, so to get back out of Pontedeume it's up a big hill. It's tough going. And then there was another hill sort of halfway on the way to Mino, and again not too bad if the weather wasn't 20 degrees. So you could see the locals were kind of just flying, but for everybody else 20 degrees is no joke at 45 degrees. So but in terms of overall elevation, the highest elevation, we go up 400 meters at one stage. So yeah, nothing major. So there's a few inclines on the way to Santiago, but nothing major. Take it easy. Plenty of water, electrolytes. Make sure you're getting lots of sleep and eat. So the Spanish eating times are interesting. So everybody seems to close down at 2 o'clock and then doesn't open till like 8. So if you haven't really got a big lunch in before 2, you have to wait till about 8 o'clock to get some food. But then breakfast then is the next morning. Most places are serving breakfast at 7, 8 in the morning, so you just have to sort of go with it. Breakfast though is fantastic. Loving the breakfasts. It's everything's so fresh. The bread is fresh, the orange juice is freshly squeezed. We've got cheeses and cold meats and fruit. There was one place that had melon and pineapple and freshly brewed coffee. Everything's fresh. Everything's just fresh. So it just hits you in the morning. Coffee, fruit, cheeses, bread. Oh, the croissant. I had a croissant this morning. It was just fresh. Everything's just so fresh. So that's what you wake up to, and then you come out into the sunshine. It's just unbelievably tasty. The breakfast set you up for the day. So yeah, the hospitality has been fantastic. Every place I've stayed has been amazing. Everybody's so friendly. Everybody's so friendly. I suppose it's the Camino, you know, it's the spirit getting into it. People are relying on people coming all the way from Ireland to walk a trail in their country, and they're excited to tell you and show you. So yeah, it's been fantastic. So we're gonna make our way to Mino. It's on the coast, so I think there's a beach. It's there in a couple hours, and then it's on to Betanzos, and we've just made the 76 kilometers. So that's 76 kilometers to Santiago, and we started at 113. So it's it keeps you. I don't know. It's a good thing, you know. It's kind of seeing that every so often. But you can sort of count down to the next stop, which is not too bad. But yeah, 76, so approaching a third of the way, and then 76 kilometers to Santiago. So it's been an epic adventure so far. The pilgrimage to Santiago to see the relics of St. James, following in the footsteps of the northern pilgrims, northern European pilgrims, arriving on the north coast of Spain. So these wee trails are just fantastic. So yeah, onwards to Mino, to the coast once again. Let's keep it going.